encapsulation using real life examples, and then we will try to discuss about the advantages of encapsulation. So first, what is the formal definition of encapsulation? Wrapping up of data and methods into a single unit. So this definition states that the required data and the methods are grouped together similar to capsule. So in a capsule, what it would be there? It would contain the necessary medicines, and then those things would be wrapped using some plastic capsule. So similarly, in programming languages, in programs, the required data and methods are wrapped together. If suppose the data and methods are wrapped together, then that could be called as encapsulation. So we will try to rate that with the real life example. For example, consider Coca-Cola vending machine. This is a Coca-Cola vending machine. Here both data, which means Coca-Cola bottles, which are present inside this Coca-Cola vending machine, and then operations means if you insert some coins, then for that amount, then the Coca-Cola bottles will be served. So here the both data and the operations or methods are wrapped together inside the vending machine. So that's why we can relate this example with the encapsulation. So second point is to avoid the access of private data members from outside the world. So for example, this Coca-Cola bottles or Coca-Cola are private data for that company. If you want to access that private data, then you need to legally give some amount by inserting the coins, and that would be that for that amount the Coca-Cola would be served. If there is no door similar to this, then what would happen means you could see these Coca-Cola bottles from the outside world. So what people would think is, so okay, this Coca-Cola bottles can be accessed without giving money, so they will try to access those Coca-Cola bottles without actually paying the amount. So to prevent that, the people are using the encapsulation concept. Encapsulation concept means hiding the private data from the outside world. If we want to access the private data, then you need to give some amount. In this example, similarly in programming language, suppose if you want to access the private data, then you should using some methods to access the private data. Now comes to advantages. Advantages means the first advantage is data hiding. So data hiding means here restricts the access of some data from outside world directly. Here the Coca-Cola has been restricted from the outside world from directly. If you want to access this Coca-Cola, then you need to insert the coins, then for that amount the Coca-Cola would be served. That's the first point, data hiding. And the flexibility means always whether data should be read only or write read. So for that we can consider an ATM examples. For example, this is an ATM. If you have a debit card, then you could insert the debit card. For that specified amount, the liquid cash should be served. So that's the privilege of a normal user. For ATM officials, ATM supervisors, they can insert or refill the amount inside the ATM machine. Here people have different privileges. So based on the privilege, the ATM machine can be accessed. That's called flexibility. Allows whether data should be read only or read write.